self-care. So a lot of people have not been giving themselves the care that they need. And when I talk about self-care, I'm not talking about things that you do to go and pamper yourself, to get your hair and your nails done. That's not the type of self-care that I'm referring to. When I mention self-care, what I'm talking about is the things that you do pertaining the purpose and the destiny that God has for your life. I feel like sometimes we get so caught up in doing so much for everyone else. We get so caught up in doing things for everyone else, but we're not becoming selfish for ourselves. We become so selfless that sometimes we forget to be selfish for ourselves. And when I say selfish, what I mean by selfish, I mean by putting yourself first. Not in the sense of, being selfish, like in a negative, rude kind of sense. That's not what I mean, but to sacrifice yourself for people is huge. It's something that you should do, always do. But when I say sacrifice, I mean you're sacrificing your dreams. You're sacrificing the things that God has put inside of you to do. If God has given you a business, He has given you ideas, because we're creators. God created us out of His creation. Therefore, we can do the same things that God can do. You can create and be the creator that God has called you to be. You're taking time out every single day to go to a 9-to-5 job. You're being selfish because God is giving you blueprints, business ideas. If you have not put any effort into doing those things, you're not meant to work a 9-to-5 job for the rest of your life. You're not meant to go and clock into work. In the Bible, the people that were Jesus' disciples, not one of them had a job. They wasn't broke, but every single last one of them had a business. They had land. They owned property. They had some type of business, and from their business, they was able to go and follow Jesus for a year's worth of wages. If you're thinking that the 9-to-5 job that you had is meant for you to clock in every single day and for the rest of your life, 20% of the people, 20% of people right now do not like the job that they're in. And I don't know why I'm stuck on this topic, but I just feel like somebody really needs to hear that your job that you're working, you're not meant to work and clock in every single day at a job. I'm not saying go quit your job. You need to have money in the bank. You need to pay your bills. You need food on your table. You have to take care of your family if you have one. And you need to do the daily things that you need to do to survive and live. By all means, save. Be a steward of the finances that God has given you. Don't go and eat your money. When you feel like I got a little bit of money left to eat, no. Put that in a bank, set it aside, and do the things that God has been putting in your heart. What are some of the things that you feel like God has been telling you to do? It's those little ideas, those little thoughts that you get in your mind. And you just like, oh, I don't know where that thought came from. That was the Holy Spirit. That was God talking to you. You're getting these little thoughts that come past your mind every day. God speaks to us twice daily, but man do not perceive. Those little thoughts, those little ideas, those little nudges that God is speaking to you about is for you to go and do those things. But you do not perceive the voice of God because you're not aware. You're too busy. You're too busy. So on TikTok, post your comments, post your questions in the chat because we're going to go deeper. Post your comments I mean, your questions. We're talking about relationships and dating, so post your questions. Blessings, everyone that is joining. I have TikTok. Blessings, Michael. Blessings, Thomas. Okay, I'm gonna try to add my sister because she's on here on Instagram. Blessings to everyone on TikTok. I don't know how to add people. How do I add people? I don't know how to add. Blessings, pretty. Blessings, Michael. Type your questions in the chat, TikTok, for anything that has to do with relationships and dating. Thank you for joining, Daniel Walker. Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Hey.
Blessings.
Blessings.
I was able to ask. I was like, I don't know how to join.
Baby, blessings. Thank you for joining Talking 7. Type your questions in the chat on TikTok. I have TikTok open too.
Oh, okay.
If you're joining on TikTok, type your questions in the chat. I have my favorite person on Instagram, Imma. Hey. Ooh.
Get my lights on so I can match your energy.
Okay.
I don't know if that
Blessings, Say Johnson. Thank you for joining.
should that just made it dark.
All right, so we had some polls and we put out a poll and we have some questions that came in from people who are wanting to know some certain things about certain dating situations. And I want to dive really deep into this right now. And it's some things that people are wanting to know that people are wanting to talk about. Thank you. Hey, JP. Hey, Slammy Des. So let's dive deep. So, what we're going to be talking about, one of the questions that someone asked, I'm going to start with the posed questions first. So, one of the questions that someone asked is, what if you are a man of God who struggles with lust? So, if my personal opinion for that, if you're a man of God and you're struggling with lust, how is like how close is your relationship with God? I mean, I understand that we live in a body and our flesh consistently fights against the word of God. So I don't know, like if you're a man of God and you struggle with lust, I feel like you need to go deeper into your word because the devil is trying to fight you. And, and the thing that God is calling you to do or has for you, and it's like, I feel like when some people struggle with these things, it's because you're not fully in there with the Lord. It's like you're 1 foot in and 1 foot out.
Yeah.
And your relationship with God needs to grow deeper and stronger. You need to be in the Bible. It's a lot of Christians that don't read their Bible. It's like they're waiting for someone else, a man of God, their prophet, their evangelist, their teacher, their preacher, to feed them the word, but it doesn't end there. It the relationship, it continues. You don't just go to receive something from a man of God and then it just stops there. Like, what are you doing in your personal life? Like,
Right.
what are you doing at home? What are you doing when it comes to you studying? We study ourselves to show ourselves approved. So it doesn't really seem like your relationship is not all the way there when it comes to God. Hey, Deja. I think I'm pronouncing your name right. Um, so the enemy is fighting you because you obviously have a call on your life and God wants to do things with you and for you. And he wants to bring you higher and he wants you to come higher with him. There's a deeper connection that he wants to have with you. But the devil is fighting that. He's using lust as a distraction. And I think that's all I gotta say. Do you have anything you want to add, Emma?
Yeah. So thanks for having me.
Yes, ma'am.
But I think we shouldn't only look at lust and men of God as two separate things. Like at the end of the day, the men of God are still men to start with. And as you said, you should start asking yourself and questioning yourself how much of your relationship is with God.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes hand in hand with knowing the word, if that is your foundation, and that should be your foundation.
Yes.
And then seek deeper and to see what else is causing that. There's always something that triggers you just beyond the last. There's always something else that is beyond that that is pushing you to last. Maybe you're ending up lasting as camouflage to cover up something else, a deeper issue that is beyond, just the regular understanding. It comes back to the spiritual part.
Mm-hmm.
So you really have to dig deeper just as a person. And then if it ends up being that you're a man of God, you have a bigger target on your back. You,
Listen,
you have a
listen.
bigger target
The
on your
main
back.
target be the people, the men of God, whoever God has called to preach or teach, or you're setting people free to deliver them, to heal them from
Yeah.
whatever Satan is. Listen, you're the bigger target.
You have,
So he's
yeah.
gonna come after you. You're the one who's gonna be setting the people free. Satan
Yeah.
don't want people to be set free.
So
So
it's
I
very
yes.
easy. Yeah, it's very easy to be targeted, as you said. And then they always look, it's easy to be targeted when you have a weakness, right?
Yep.
If that is part of the weakness, of course, that is gonna be used. It's an open door.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, we can't push everything to the devil. Like you have a part to play. You
True.
have a part to play. So as you said, you have to take responsibility, go back and figure out why and dig deeper, create a relationship with God.
Yeah.
I think as you say, we forget that we end up leaving that responsibility to the preachers, the prophets, the man of God to lead you. But you still gotta do your part, and figure out the why, the how, why, and
What?
try to give, yeah,
Yeah.
what
Hmm.
is causing that. So,
Yep, that's true. That's so true. Like, what are you doing?
yeah, what is
Who
it
still
that you
plays the
have to
part? It's
do?
temptation.
Mm-hmm.
Satan came to Jesus in the wilderness. God been leading to this verse for over like a week now. It's temptation.
And as man, as a mortal being, we can fall into temptations. It's
Yep.
it's it's just inevitable. It's there.
Anyone can
And it's
fall
there
into
for a
temptation.
purpose too. It's there for a purpose. If you end up falling into temptation, then you realize your weakness.
Yep.
And then you figure out how to solve that, because that's the whole purpose. We are here to learn. We are on earth to learn. So, I mean, without those, you'll never know that you're weak. You can always go around and say, I can never do that. I will never do
Listen, the
that.
devil
Not
gonna be
me.
like, never. Oh, we gonna find out.
We gonna let's see. Let's see how far
Let's
you can
see.
go. Yeah. Let's see how far you can go. But I think when it
Okay.
comes to men of God, they just don't have, I don't know, because they're in the public figure. We're all looking onto them, and it's hard for them to just like reconcile with God and search for advice. I think they should just go back to just being as any other man. You need help.
Yeah.
However, help is defined by you.
Yeah.
Because the target is, as we say, the target is big on them. We're all looking at them like, what? So,
It's facts. Facts. So Emma JP has a question. I feel
okay.
like this would be a good question for you. His question is: are gender roles important in today's society?
When we say today's society, there's like people who are the Gen Zs. Gen
JP,
Zs who are getting ready to
what do
be married.
you mean by today's society?
What do you mean today's society? Like the people who are currently married? Or is it about people who
People
are
who
thinking about
are
getting married?
single,
Yeah.
dating, or married? Type it in the chat. JP.
Because that can go in different ways.
For everyone single, married, and all.
Okay. If
Thank you,
we
Summer, for
stand,
joining.
if we stand on the Christianity base, the gender roles are still there. They should always be there anyway. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's defined very clearly. The man is the head, he is leading, and the woman is the neck. She's supposed to be supportive and do all other things.
Mm-hmm.
I know when it comes to the world, things are all mixed up just because women can work, it's like they can do it, I can do it too. But
Yeah.
in reality, there are things that we can't, as women, we can't do.
Mm-mm.
We are not meant for it. Like
No.
the other day, my husband and I were watching something. I think it was some incident. Oh, it was something at the airport. Like the crew was cleaning the runway or something.
Mm-hmm.
It was just men at the scene. And I was like, that's just men's job. Like, I understand we can do it. It's not that we can't, but there are things are just meant for men to do. It fits them. And there are things that just for women. So, yes, to answer the question, gender roles still apply. Now, to what extent or to what level, that totally depends with the couple, with the marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Every marriage is different.
Yeah.
That should be very, very clear. Whatever is being done in household A cannot be copy pasted in household because
True.
it does not work like that. Those are
True.
two different individuals. The vows are the same, the agreement are the same, but we can't copy paste marriage.
Nope.
So the way I define generals in my household can be slightly different in somebody else's household. Some people ends up just saying men should take the trash out. They have the providers, security, and it ends there. Like that's it. That's all what men do in their household. Some are like, yeah, you will do that, but I need you to help with the kids. I need you to cook, shop, help me inside the house
Listen.
and all that. To some
And it
people,
also, I feel like it has a lot to do with culture too.
the culture plays a big. Oh my God, yes. Ask me that. I've seen it both ways.
Listen.
Yeah, the culture totally plays a role, but I don't know. I feel a little bit confused with the younger generation, where they're going. I feel like the general part is not as concerning to them. So I'm like, I don't know. We should go back to the basic principles. The Bible
Right?
states clearly, what needs to be done, what. Yes, we can always just flex it however fits our situation, but we can't just break the bones. They're there for a reason. They're there for a reason.
They're there for a reason.
Yeah. So did I answer his question?
JP, was your question answered? Sure.
Oh,
No,
you're
he said,
live on TikTok, huh?
oh, yes, it was. He said yes.
All right.
Huge part.
Culture is a big part. And that goes to like how one person was raised. What did they
Mm-hmm.
see when they were growing up? Because that kind of is the foundation of a person. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if they never saw something being done by a parent at home, they grow up knowing that's the norm,
Mm-hmm.
you know, which it might not be. It doesn't have to be. So, and this takes, like, we go back to why we need to date before people get into serious relationship and get
Mm-hmm.
married. And these are the tough questions that we need to discuss.
Yep.
Like, what you have to ask the other person, what do you think of gender roles? Does it apply to you? And if it does, how does it look to you?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Do I just need to take the trash out, or do I need to cook once in a while?
Listen.
You know, as simple as it sounds, it can make or break the relationship.
It's true.
Mhm.
The little things, though. It's the little
It's
things.
the little things. Because then we forget that their long term relationship are not just for 6 months, they're for years.
Years.
That's
Years.
a long
For a
time.
lifetime.
Lifetime.
Because
It's a
you're
long
not
time.
dating just to be dating. Like you're dating for a
Yeah.
purpose.
Intentional dating. That needs to be stressed. It has to be intentional dating.
Intentional. You're
Intentional.
intentional. Please.
Mm, mm, mm. Think that's a whole
Like,
topic.
what is the long term goal?
Yeah,
Because if you're just dating just to be dating, like you miss the whole
the
point.
whole point. You're gonna waste time.
Wasting so much time, so many years, so much energy. It's like
Energy.
it's not worth
You're
it.
wasting so much energy.
Listen, I learned my lessons. Especially me being a Christian now. Like, listen, I only been in Christ for like 3 years. So it has not
Okay.
been a long time for me. For a lot of people, I mean, you have to grow into certain things.
Yeah.
Even within that 3 year span, like a lot of things happen. Like a lot. So it took time. Like a lot of things happened. Like I had deaths in the family,
Right.
financial situations, like a whole bunch of things was just happening at once within that whole 3 year period.
Yeah. You see how 3 years can be short and long at the
Yeah.
same time. Yeah, you can look at it and be like, it's just 3 years. And then it's like, oh my God, it's been 3 years.
Within that period of me going through all those things, I had to relearn my whole entire life.
Imagine that. Mm.
Everything that I once knew before I came into Christ, I had to relearn everything within that three year period of time.
Yeah. So they're long.
That was short.
You're sure to learn everything, but then long to experience
Then
everything.
when God was speaking to me, it's like, Lord, I don't understand none of this. Like when I told my prophet like what God was saying to me, it was like, God saying these things, you got it. I was like, yeah. I was like, I don't even know what is happening. But I was telling him all the visions and things that God was showing me and revealing to me within this shorter period of time. Like
Yeah.
it was just like I was like my whole life was just sped up.
Right. But we grow with the
We
experiences. You see
grow.
how that has changed you? Yeah. With the experiences, we grow.
Yeah, that's true. We
It's
have to grow just like we have to grow in our relationship with God.
oh, you said life. That is a full committed lifetime. There's no option. You
It
ain't going
is.
in or out of that. Like it's constant.
People don't, I feel like a lot of people really don't understand that. Like people feel like, okay, I'm a Christian now and I go to church, so I'm saved.
And I'm good. Yeah.
That's
Uh-huh.
it.
Yeah.
I read a Bible once every full moon, but I still go to the club. I still drink. I still cuss. I still have sex once in a while.
Like it's
And
not so bad.
this it's not a bad thing. It's okay.
You know, it's this is the thing. I think we put God in a box. Like we only can go this far with him, and when we're done it's just like, okay, it's good to meet you, I know you, so now we are cool. We forgot he is God. We gotta have to learn him in so many different ways, not just the church and the
Yep.
Bible. In so many different ways, it has to be personal.
There's
And
so
again,
many things in the Bible that God, like the Holy Spirit, would speak to you. That's not in the Bible. So, in order for you to know that
he's
you have to
speaking
be in the Bible too to understand who He is.
his nature. At least you have to understand and know his nature. And
Yes.
then you have to know him as a person. Because, I mean, we know he is our father, he is God.
Mhm.
And again, he is our
Yep.
father. But the way, even in our natural world, the way a father relates to his kids, if he has 4 or 5, it
Mm-hmm.
differs. The way
Yep.
he communicates with the firstborn is probably totally different how he relates to the lastborn.
True.
So us as his kids, we gotta figure out our personal relationship with him. How he tells you no is not the same way he tells me no. Maybe
Yep.
he's more gentler to you, and then to me it's like I said no.
Listen, me is a whole different story.
He's like, no,
I
don't. It's like
can't
we
do one thing wrong. I'm telling you, it's a. I'm like, Lord Jesus, but she did it.
right. See,
What does that mean? What about my feelings? How she used to do it that gay? But I tell you, what did I say?
he's like, no, you. I've given you so many other chances. This time, no. And
You
we
gave me
have to know
chances.
that. So we,
Man,
I don't
that's
know.
so funny.
It's a constant relationship. Like you have to keep up. You have to keep up, and you can't relate just on the Bible and the church and the. It's way more than that.
It is.
It's way more than that.
It really
You,
is.
you know.
That's so good.
When you look at it, the way we put so much effort into our relationships, right?
Hmm.
You communicate so often, you check on each other, you care, you
Yeah.
buy this, you hang out together. Like you purposely dedicate time to hang out and all that. We need to do that with God.
We
Like
need to do that with
He is
God. What are
God.
you doing?
Like it doesn't have to be okay. I know we're structured to do it in a certain way, but knowing that he's a spiritual being, we
Yeah.
don't have to be like, let's go on a date. I mean, we can, but you're not just gonna be alone at the restaurant saying I'm on a date with God. You eating. You'll be over there eating and forget about him. But I mean, consciously, you need to do that. You can be taking your walk at the park and have a moment with him.
Yeah.
In
He's
that,
all
in
around
your
you.
mind.
He's in the
Hmm
trees, the flowers, the wind,
He
the
is
clouds,
there. It's all
everywhere.
him.
He's
Yeah,
speaking to you.
he's
Yeah.
talking.
Yeah.
Now, listening is another part. For human beings to listen,
Hey, humans.
I feel like we need more than 2 ears. We can talk.
Listen, we got plenty of eyes, but we need plenty of ears too.
We need a lot of ears. Because he speaks, I don't know, just we miss it.
For some reason,
We distracted.
we distracted. It's too many
There's
distractions.
too much
Too many
distraction.
distractions. I was just
Hmm
saying this when I first started the live. Too many distractions. God speaks to us twice daily, but man is not perceiving. Why
Right.
is that?
It's being human. I know. The fact that he keeps up with it, like he is like, oh man, I'm gonna try again tomorrow. I guess she missed it
Listen, and if
today.
you don't get it during the day, he gonna come to you in your dreams.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just wait till they go to sleep.
Yeah. I'm gonna tap it
Pretending
in
like
at
I don't
night.
understand my dreams. Lord help.
Oh, don't
Oh
remember.
Lord Jesus, let me just appear to this person. That's what they're waiting for. They waiting for Jesus to just pop up in their room and tell them, like, my child.
And it's not happening.
It's not.
It's not happening. Oh my God.
Jesus.
That's why we're here though.
Yeah.
We learn through each other, through experiences, and God still have us. He's like, okay, I'll give them time.
How long?
Uh,
We're running out of time. You got to get to today. Today.
like, hurry up, I'll be right back. I'm gonna check back on you,
Listen, but
preacher.
God sent his word to you where like it could be people, for instance, that just came to my mind, people on the streets when they preach the gospel. Like, Lord, nobody never told me. I sent my servant. He was sitting on the corner. He was on the corner preaching. So what do
Wow.
you mean?
Wow.
Know who I am. Like it always start with a seed though. But it's like some people I feel like a lot of people they miss it. Like it goes over their head.
A lot of
And
times.
all the
And
time.
a whole lot of times, yes. And it can be just a random person too, saying a word to you or encouraging you. It can be a song. It can
That
be
part.
that we just
Encouragement. This is what God used to do with me. Like when I first came in, like God used to send people from everywhere out of nowhere. I believe it would be like 2 or 3 times a day
that's
where people would just come
nice.
and give me compliments because he knew what I was going through at that time, and
Mm,
it made my day. Like when people would say nice things to me, give me compliments, and things like that. That cheered me up, and then I would know, okay, this is God because almost every week people was coming to me giving me compliments. Like saying, "Oh,
Wow.
you look nice today. Your hair look nice today. You look so pretty.
And
This, and
that
that. Just
does
little
something
compliments.
to
Just
your soul.
little compliments.
Yeah. And that changes
It
everything.
changes everything, and people don't realize that. Like just
Mm-hmm.
the little things, saying like, "Oh, you look nice today. Oh, your hair look nice today. Oh, I love your outfit. Oh, things, just little simple things. Buying somebody a coffee, buying somebody a meal. Like it's the little
Emil.
things. God used to do that with me a lot too. He would send people to buy me food like randomly. I had no clue. Like people would just randomly. I would even be sometimes in my own car in the drive-through going to buy my food, and the lady would come up and say, "It would be somebody before me." When I get to the window, like, "Oh, they already
It was
paid for your
paid
meal." I'm like,
for.
"What? Oh,
Thank
thank you,
you.
Jesus."
That was the moment to teach you gratitude too. On the other hand,
Yes.
on the receiving hand, yeah, it's for you to know gratitude and be
Yep.
thankful. And to know that you can do that to somebody else.
Yep.
This is, it's a teaching moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because I think sometimes we have had time receiving. I've seen a lot of people like they go through life situations. They don't know how to receive. They can be good
True.
givers, but they don't know how to receive. Like somebody tells you, like they smile at you and say, "Hi, good morning," and you're just like
Listen,
somebody smiled and opened their mouth to say hi, or they gave you a compliment. You look nice or whatever it is, and you're just there like,
even just simply asking how a person day was.
yeah, like how, yeah. But in our society, we are so, I don't know, we're so in tune to just saying things. How are you? I'm good. You're not. You know you're not.
Listen, I learned. Listen, don't ask me how I'm doing because I'm
Because
gonna tell you.
you get, I, I've learned not to ask people how they're doing if I don't have time. Because there was a time I think I was at the grocery store. We just passing through aisle and say, "Hey, hi, how are you?" And she stopped to explain how she was doing. We were there for a while. I was like,
Oh
yeah, I
my!
wasn't ready for
Sometimes
this.
people need that though. That's
They
therapy.
do.
They need that. Oh my
They
goodness!
do.
Thank you for asking. Because I would be that person, and I'm gonna tell you like, so listen. Thank you for stopping to ask me that. I really needed that today. Thank you so much.
Right. And you start going. You're like, my day was 30 minutes later.
Listen,
He's
that is
still
so
talking.
funny.
Uh,
That
uh,
is so funny.
that is funny.
So I have another question.
Okay.
What do you think about sex before marriage?
Ooh, that's a sensitive question.
I heard a few. I gonna say a few. I'm gonna say like yeah, a few. One or two prophets mentioned
Uh-huh.
sex before marriage could it could be depend on your perspective. It's your perspective of what you think about sex before marriage before they could go into that because some biblical scriptures that they can back up why sex before it is a whole bunch of things that can go behind that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So me personally, I want to know and I want to go deeper into that.
So, as you said, with biblical perspective, for what I know,
Hmm.
sex before marriage isn't is not of benefit
Hmm.
when it comes to the spiritual life, because
Hmm.
there's more that goes into it beyond just the physical contact.
Yeah.
So, And I think too, by the time when the Bible was written, or this was used or supposed to be used, people were getting married younger. Like women were either 16, 18, and the men were a little bit older, but it was of that range.
Yeah.
Which will prevent a lot of things. Somehow, I think if I was able to apply that, I would have liked that too. Because it's true, you get to connect with people in the soul level. You take over their energy. You carry stuff with sex involved. You do
Yeah.
spiritually. If you don't know all you do, it happens. But then if we go strictly with that, in the realistic of things, it's not applicable all the time. Given the fact that, uh, okay, so what? How do we consider people? Let's say they were younger and they went through that. They didn't have sex before marriage. They got married younger. I mean, I don't know. Let's go with the same time age, 16, 18, and the guy was probably 22, 24, and they went down through marriage process 4, 10 years later. They have outgrown each other. Marriage isn't working. There's abuse, like some serious issues
Yeah.
that forces them to separate. When they separate and they start dating, are we gonna consider them they didn't have sex before marriage? Because now they're going to their second marriage.
I mean,
You know, like sex is still involved.
yeah.
So I think with the intention is good and should be applied if it's possible. It should. It really should. But I guess in our, like in the real world, people are dating constantly. I don't know. I don't even want to know the dating world because I hear crazy stories about dating. And I'm like, oh my God.
That ain't my time to date.
It's a lot going on with it. But I think we should always have the restrictions of not having sex as priority while we're dating. That can help a lot of situations. That can solve a lot of issues in our lives. Not just in that current relationship, just as a person in general. Because I said you're carrying things with you when you're involved sexually with somebody else. So I
Yeah.
think when like the people who are still dating, if they have that, and if you're dating with intention and you do not have that as priority, that should help. Like if you're able to date, let's say, I don't know, people date for what, a year, 2 years before they think they're married,
A year or two?
a year or two. If you're able, let's say, to date for a year and a half,
I'll
excuse
say a
me,
year and a half.
a year and a half without having
Maybe
sex,
a year. Yeah.
maybe a year. But I feel like dating without sex shortens the time for you to date. It shortens the time. You're like, okay, we're pushing the envelope too far, you know. So the dating time kind of reduces too.
What do you say
But
about those people who say, okay, I'm a Christian, we're not having sex, but we kiss? Does not consider, like intercourse, but it's us trying to build a connection through intimacy.
is
Kissing
kissing same as
is
sex?
harmless.
We're not putting kissing in the same level as sex, are we?
Some people think kissing is the same thing as, because it can lead to other things.
Oh, that yes, that can literally lead you down to that road very
Foreplay.
fast.
Let's just say that.
Yeah, yes, yeah, the sex and good, that can happen real fast with the kiss. But again, I think we need, first of all, I think we have an issue for people dating while they're not mature enough,
Oh,
and not
that's good.
meaning that just their age. People do not know themselves yet,
That's good.
and then we get in relationship with somebody else, putting our needs first, and before you know it, we're down the wrong road and it's a whole mess, and
Oh,
sex has already
Jesus.
been involved. It gets messy with sex involved. It's so little easier
Be like
to
Adam
get out
and
of
Eve.
things. Yeah, when it's not. So really, sex
She did
before
it.
marriage
She
is
convinced
good.
me.
It's needed.
Listen.
It's
Hmm.
it's needed. It's advice.
Hmm.
You should do it now. I didn't do it, so I can't condemn somebody else. I can't condemn somebody else who will do it. But again, with the knowledge, knowing what I know now, as I said before, knowing what I know now, I shouldn't have done that. It's not advisable. As I said, it's not good
Hmm.
for you as a person, for
Yeah.
your growth spiritually and all those things. So if we date with intention and we are all grown and we know, they say if you know, you know. We shouldn't be
Yeah.
dating more than a year or
Hmm.
so. Because then by that time you have gone over so many hurdles to escape the sex. If you push it further, you're just gonna find yourself into it.
Yep.
So then it kills the purpose.
Yep.
But
I agree with that.
for those who are dating, pray and try your best
Pray.
not to get into it.
Pray hard.
It's less mercier when sex is not involved.
Especially if you was like delivered from, that because you were having sex before you became Christian
Yeah.
and you were delivered from that and you
Now you
feel
know
like,
better.
yeah, like pray because the enemy would try to use that against you.
It's I think it's the biggest temptation. I don't know. What is the biggest temptations to men? I feel it's up there. Sex gotta be like top three.
Sex is top three.
It gotta be. It gotta be. It's up there.
Less.
It's up there. So my issue with this, which I think we need to do it to start doing it and speaking to the younger generation more, I feel like it's harder for them.
Mm-hmm.
Grown-ups can understand, especially if they understand the meaning and the purpose behind it.
Mm-hmm.
The young kids, I don't want to call them kids, but the younger generation, I
Mm-hmm.
think they just think you're telling them not to have fun. And you're like, no, honey, it's beyond that. You gotta be 52 and understand what I was trying to tell you. But sometimes people learn through mistakes. They gotta go through it to know it's bad,
Yeah.
to not do it. But
True.
again, like save yourself. It's not worth it.
Mm-mm. It's not worth it. It's
If you
not worth
can,
it
if you can, just
because
don't.
if you do it and you give in and you do it, you're gonna feel like worthless.
Yeah, especially if you
Like
know it's a
everything.
whole. Yeah, it's a whole different thing for like your conscience to let you know you have done some wrong.
Mm-hmm.
If you really don't have the full understanding,
Yeah.
but when you're like fully understand and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
but I'll just
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
it's different. It's different if they didn't know. Like it's
If you didn't know, it's different. But if you know right from wrong,
and you
you still do
purposely
it.
intended, yeah, just to do it just because. Like everybody does it, so why not?
It's different. That's different.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but wait. Like, yeah, no. Nobody
How
convinced you. You convinced yourself.
l- maybe you're in the dating world. How is it in the dating world? Is that something that is doable?
It's a possibility. I
Okay.
personally don't know because I am not dating. So
Okay. Okay.
I feel like that's somewhere. I feel like dating right now is a place where God do not have me currently.
Okay.
So I don't really know what it's like to date. I have not dated in I don't know how long.
Okay.
I'm not gonna put a number on it, but it's been a long
It's
time.
been a while.
So yeah, I don't know. It's very awkward.
Well, it's okay. It's a season. It's
Hmm.
life experience.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. You're learning. So during this time, you get time to learn yourself.
Learn
y-
myself,
Yeah.
build
To know yourself better.
myself, to know who God is and what He says about things, and not what I
Right.
think
Right.
or what the world is saying,
Hmm.
or having another, you know, mouth in my ear telling me things.
There'll be a lot of things.
Listen, God said.
There'll be a lot of things.
Ain't no deceiving fooling me now because I got the Holy Spirit, the Father and the Son with me.
Speaking.
But yeah, this was good. I love this.
Oh, that 1 hour went by fast.
Quick.
Wait, we
We
didn't even touch the questions that,
didn't
oh
even
my
get
goodness.
all the questions.
Yeah. Oh, well.
We might have to do a part two.
Yeah, we might need a part
Part
two.
two. Part two.
Yeah, maybe towards the end of the week.
Some people had questions on TikTok that I missed.
Oh, let's see. Is it some, are they long? We can do next time or
I was
some we
trying to
can,
go. They're like short questions. It was all the way at the top. Let's see if I can go back and see it.
okay.
JP on Dream Chaser had a question on Instagram. I feel like that'd be a quick, easy question.
Okay.
Can you date someone that goes to a different church?
Totally.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Who said you were bound to date someone in just the church you go
The
to?
church.
You can date wherever you want to date. I mean, as long as that person is up to the standards that you're looking for, is
Mm-hmm.
what you're looking for, they don't have to be in the same church that you go
No,
to.
no. So long as you have the same foundations, like you
Yes.
agree on the same things,
Yes. You have to be in agreement.
you have to be in agreement. There can be differences, but they should be way less than what you agree on. So yes, go ahead, shoot your shot
Shoot it.
and date with intention,
Not just to date.
not just to date. You know it's time, and it's not worth it. And through dating, you get to know what you like and what you don't like. Because sometimes
True.
you don't know those things until you meet somebody else. Like, you have to be outside of you for somebody else to show you what you do like and what you don't
And
like.
in my opinion, I feel like when you're dating, you're allowed to date more than one person. I know Prophet Lovey mentioned this as well. He said that um, if you're dating, you can date more than one person because you're trying to get, to feel like who you like and who you don't like. What are some of the things that you're looking for in that person?
Mm. Yeah, because
I
you learn
honestly feel
different
like
things.
my personal opinion, I feel like that would be okay. Not to be dating like 10 people or 5 people at once. That's crazy.
The time.
But
Do you even have the time?
one or two, that's it. Not like 3, 4, 5 people.
Now, this is where sex before marriage is really need to be applied.
Hmm.
Because then if you're gonna do that and deep into all of them, my goodness. Mm. Please
Yeah.
don't. If you know you're not capable of doing that, please don't.
It's whatever you're comfortable with, of course.
Yes. Because then your angels will be looking down at you, be like, you're doing all that. Why?
Can you write down this question? It says, oh, wait, let me go back. Dang, I just forgot.
Oh.
It says, how do you ask a boy? I don't know how old this person is, but they're asking, how do you ask someone out? They're they're a female wanting to know how to ask a male out.
Mm.
We're not
And
going to answer that question today.
we gonna do it next time?
Yeah, next time.
Okay. Yeah, and this will really depend on the age of the person.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say, first of all, as a woman, I don't know how old you are, but you shouldn't be asking a male out. Okay? I just want to say that.
They must be watching TikTok showing how females are out of Home
I,
Depot asking for men
I,
out.
I don't know where they do that at.
We are living in a whole different world. I'm like, oh my God, that didn't happen the last 5, 10 years,
Wow,
but it's happening,
that's crazy.
and
I didn't
it's different in
heard a
every city.
situation where the woman, I don't know if they do this in other countries, I don't know, but this happened in America. But the woman actually got on her knees. I didn't see some videos where women do this. They get on their knees and they ask the men to marry them.
Oh, that's that's a different culture.
That's different.
Yeah, I think it's different from asking a guy out or on a date to like asking them to marry you.
It's different, but it's still like as a woman or a female, you should not be asking a guy out
Mhm.
because you're setting the tone. And males look at everything; they pay attention to everything.
The men just have this ego of like it gotta be them doing some things, like initiating and chasing, and but again, I don't know, the dating world has changed
It's changed for sure, for sure.
a, a lot.
But you have to have like standards, so you can't really like. I don't know. That's just me personally.
So what I know is like, so the ways of approaching that can be different, like
Hmm.
if you like somebody, and men should like naturally know this. If a woman like them, they know.
Yeah.
It's how the woman is looking at them, the gestures, or it depends on the environment they're in. If a
Hmm.
woman likes you and you're a guy, you kind of get like the idea, like,
Hmm.
a woman is into me without the woman saying a word.
True.
Now, if the woman is courageous enough to come and ask you out,
You both
that's
true.
not me. As you said, it's that you will never do. You will never do that.
I personally, I would never do that. I'm not gonna ask you out. I'm not. I'm just not. If you don't have the courage or the boldness to come up to me, that's just showing me a lot about you, your character, and how you operate. So I just can't. I can't. No. Mm-mm.
No, yeah, but I mean, again, we're answering the question without answering the
Yeah,
question.
we're
But as
done.
a, if the guy is of a certain age, if they're not, kids or too young, they will
Mhm.
get the nudge. Like if you like them, they will know that you do. As I was saying, the TikTok thing on Home Depot,
Mhm.
the girl didn't go off like asking the guy out. She was acting like she was looking for something on the shelf, and the guy came. Of course, she was a little bit shorter. The guy came and helped her, and she was like, "And these two, and whatever," and he helped you again. And then it was like, "Do you know where this and this is at?" He was like, "Yeah, I can walk you there," and he walked over there, and she kept asking so many questions, and the guy helped, and he was almost leaving. The guy was like, "Oh, okay, I'm done." And he looked for me and was like, "I spent 10 minutes with you asking me these questions. Can I have your number?" The girl was like, "Yes." And they're now engaged,
Wow.
you know? Yeah, so I'm like, it really depends.
Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah. But I mean, as a woman, yeah, going straight forward and asking a guy out, that's a
Yeah.
whole different breed.
Yeah.
I'm not made for it.
You different. We're gonna come back. We're gonna do part two.
Okay.
So if you have questions, you can follow me here on TikTok and post your questions under my last video, and we will answer them on part two. But we out. Peace.
It was fun. Good night.
You guys, bye Instagram.
Bye.
Part two. See you next time.